Now, the thumbnail and the title are not clickbait. I made them based on a conversation between Necrit, the legend, and Christian Link, the co-creator of Arcane, where he answered a lot of questions about the show. So I want to thank Necrit for asking about the time bomb, and of course the chat for being instrumental in most of this conversation. Before you listen to the answer given by Christian Link on the time bomb and the conversation between Jinx and Echo, I believe it's also important to understand what we have right now in the show. So when it comes to what we have in the show, first, the relationship between Echo and Powder. That's amazing. We get to see the time bomb, even if it's just for a moment. Half an episode only of that relationship, but then we get to the relationship between Echo and Jinx, and that's lackluster. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that because I want to see a romantic relationship between Echo and Jinx. I would prefer a friendship, at least at first. If the time bomb happens in their case as well, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But what they have in the 9th episode is not enough. So there is a scene in the beginning, and a scene at the end whenever they step in to fight against the Noxians. They have absolutely no meaningful interaction between them in that scene, so we do not count it, and not only because of that, but also because that's the result of all of their conversations they had off-screen. Realistically, there is a transition period from going to hurt yourself to fighting against the Noxians together with the Firelights and the rest of the Undercity. Absolutely there is. And sure, the first scene, 1 minute and 32 seconds of Echo trying to save her, with an amazing line at the end. No matter what happened in the past, it's never too late to build something new, someone worth building it for. After that, it seems like Jinx understands it, understands what Echo said, so there has to be something else between the two scenes. Obviously, she will build a new weapon, Echo will definitely help. Obviously, she will try to rally the Undercity. What if we see Echo seeing that Jinx is the symbol of the Undercity? Isn't that cool to add in the show? For sure it is. Jinx believes there is no good version of herself, and we will soon see it was planned for Echo to tell her that there is a good version of her. Realistically, the only thing left to do is complain why other scenes which are less important received more screen time, or you can simply wait for the deleted scenes which they are going to release probably in a year or something like that. Maybe they are going to address some of these missing scenes on the 26th whenever they release the final act of Jinx Fixes Everything, which is a minigame in the League of Legends client. You play as Jinx and you go through these rooms which are part of Arcane, part of the lore. Basically taking part in the second season, because in the first act, for example, you go inside the room where the boxing machine is located at, and you get to see how Jinx is building Sevika's arm. During that, you can interact with a bunch of interactables, lore elements, and you will listen to a lot of dialogue given by Jinx. All of that is part of the lore. The same thing can be seen in the second room whenever you visit the last drop. And that room is absolutely incredible, and you should try it for yourself. The final room wasn't revealed yet, but I strongly believe it's going to be her lair, and we are going to see it after the conversation with Echo. Now that we have a lot of context of what we have in the show related to Jinx and Echo, and even outside of the show related to Jinx, let's listen to what Christian Link has to say about the time bomb and Jinx and Echo's relationship.
Echo stepping into season 2, he's really like a champion of Zaun, you know, and like the potential that Zaun has, and we always love the idea of showing what Zaun can be, showing Echo what Zaun can be, and having this moment where he kind of finds his spirit again. I think what's so cool about Echo and Jinx is that when he tries to convince Jinx that there's like a there is a version of power of her that is so different, you know, and that like is is a whole more complete person, and he's seen it. It's not like some theory or him trying to convince her. I think she can feel that when he's like, that version of powder exists, right? You know, and so I think that's really beautiful, and it really also was Echo what Echo needed, you know, to kind of see like powder is such an amazing example of what Zaun can be, you know, and I think that's like worth kind of continuing, you know, their story for. Right.
That was Christian Link, the co-creator of Arcane, together with Necrit, the lore expert. And if you needed more confirmation that Jinx was alive, you got it right there whenever he said that the story of Echo and Jinx will continue. Truth be told, after I heard that for the first time, I was like, okay, what's happening? That's a missed opportunity. Why is that scene not in the show? And why is there no other scene connecting the moment when Echo saves Jinx to the moment whenever they go to save the other people from the Noxians? Besides that, there isn't much left to say. I would like to see the story for the entire show sometimes in the future, maybe even in a book, or deleted scenes. But what about you? Are you satisfied with what you got, or would you like to see more?